Hello everyone, bringing you a video today to say a very big thank you for this to Rob from Britishmuzzleloaders, who very kindly sent me this jacket. It's a Canadian bush jacket, part of the bush uniform they introduced post-war in 1949. The little story behind this you'll have seen in Rob's videos. Rob uses one of these jackets when shooting, when not wearing full period attire. And as such, this was what prompted me to ask him and see if he might be able to advise where I could find one. I didn't expect, of course, to receive one as a gift in the post. But first, when I contacted Rob, he said obviously didn't really shop in surplus stores anymore, hadn't seen any for sale. But then shortly afterwards got in touch with me to say he in fact had a spare, and then very kindly offered to send this to me, and here it is. As you can see, it's in mint condition. As I said, Canadian bush uniform was introduced post Second World War in the late 1940s. And unlike the use that bush uniform is typically associated with it in jungle warfare or tropical conditions, the Canadian Army in fact wore bush uniform in the summer months in Canada and also in Germany as well. And it will also be seen in photographs of their forces involved in UN peacekeeping duties in Cyprus too. The uniform not only consists of the bush jacket, but also a pair of trousers. There's a shirt associated with it as well, a drill hat, and I believe what Canadians refer to as armlets, which we would typically refer to, the British would typically refer to as brassards, which is obviously an ability, a way of wearing badges on the arm of the uniform without actually sewing them onto the jacket. You can wear brassards to carry the insignia. Very similar to those, in fact, probably the inspiration for those used by the British Army in Korea, or introduced with the British Army combat uniform in Korea. So that's the uniform pretty much as a whole. I'll be looking to pick up the other bits of that, but obviously Rob's given me a great head start here in very kindly gifting this to me. Here you can see I've put together a semblance of the uniform as it would have been worn in the mid-1950s. The jacket is of course correct, the web equipment is correct, the helmet's correct, the Mark II was in use at this time. A couple of little errors in this which will be corrected as time goes on. The boots are Royal Navy or RAF issue, British made. The uppers are slightly different shape to Canadian boots, although of course they don't have a toe cap, which is correct, unlike British ammo boots. And the trousers are in fact a pair of Gurkha trousers, but they are a pair of green drill trousers with no leg pocket, which obviously meant they were good standing, although the waist fastening is rather different. An issue with these is they're a little short for me, which is why the bottom of the trousers, the blousing and the puttees are rather scruffy. But I wanted to put this together to show Rob, once the jacket had arrived, to show Rob something of what this will end up looking like when I have all the correct pieces of the uniform together. So once I have the other components of this uniform together, or certainly some of them, and a pair of more appropriate boots, I'll be able to do a proper one-man's kit video or something akin to that, wearing this uniform. I'm also hoping to next year, well, depending on when I manage to get the proper trousers and boots sorted, I hope to wear this as an event at some point as well. As I say, it's the immediate post-war Canadian uniform is quite interesting, and it's not something that I've really seen covered. I don't know if there are groups who reenact this period in Canada, but certainly it's not something that would be covered over here, although there is more of an interest growing in different elements of the NATO armies during the Cold War. As you'll have seen from some of my previous videos, particularly those taken at Hat Green, both sides represented there, not only NATO of course, but also the Warsaw Pact forces from the Cold War period. So this might be a nice addition to that at an event in the future. I really cannot say thank you enough to Rob for sending me this. It's incredibly generous, and as I say, it's really added to the sort of Commonwealth side of the collection, and obviously really it wonderfully complements the 1951 pattern web equipment which I've been getting together. I've also managed to pick up some Canadian combat uniforms, so this and that will be the subject of future videos looking more into Canadian kit as well as everything else we cover on the channel. If you'd be interested to see that, if you'd be interested to see those videos, then please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. There's also a Facebook and an Instagram page, which I've linked in the description. I've also set up a Patreon for the channel, and there's also a PayPal link if anyone would like to donate money to the channel. Some people have asked about that in the past, and some people have already very kindly donated. I've already thanked them in the previous video talking about Victory Show. So very, very generous of people to do that. If you're interested, links are in the description. But that's everything I wanted to cover in this video. As I say, once again, thank you very much, Rob, and until next time, bye for now.